Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine. I'm your host, Angelina Capiello. Today we are speaking with the queen of house music, Miss Crystal Waters. In this interview, the icon shares her tour information, her new album coming out in the fall, information for aspiring artists, and how she keeps herself grounded and successful in so many ways. Keep watching. You don't want to miss this interview.
We just decided like last week. It's called the You and Me Tour, named after the title of the new single.
Which I love. I was just playing it actually, which is so good. And again, like just another great dance hit that you made. But this is
Oh,
like
thank
an
you.
album that hasn't, like you haven't made an album in over 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah, 20 something years. I don't even want to count album because the market went to singles
Right.
because it wasn't worth spending a year and a half putting out an album and then it disappeared in 2 months. So everybody just started doing singles. But
And
I
you have,
wanted
you've
to,
dropped a lot of collaborations, a lot of singles throughout the years too. I mean, that they've all been, hits.
yeah.
This new You and Me in 2025, I was happy to hear that too. I want to kind of ask, like, what made you decide, like, all right, it's time to put something together for everyone?
Well, I wanted to do one more album, put my heart into it. I mean, I had some friends that were like, come on, let's do an album. I got a little nudging. And I said, well, I want to do it. I want it to be cohesive. I wanted a certain sound. And once I found some people that I could actually work with and get what I wanted out of,
Okay.
because it's hard to find good people to work with. Everybody these days are, out, the DJs are out for themselves. So I finally, gotten a good groove and I'm really feeling good about the album. So I wanted to do something and I wanted to flow like if you bought the album, you didn't have to pick up the needle. So it was that kind of mentality.
Love it.
Um, and I just wanted to do one more.
All right. What would you say is the theme of this album for you?
The theme is the sound of the album. You got the classic house sounds, but it's a new modern hard driving house sound. It's a new edgy house, I would say, something like
All right. I'm down with this.
that.
I had a kind of like this little question here, like if there were three words for the message of this album, what would they be?
The message of the album, I think what I'm feeling is high energy. It's like good feeling energy is the message. Um, I'm trying to still give that message of positivity and togetherness, and you can just do it. So was that 3 words? That was 18. Let me see.
Yeah.
I would say good energy music.
All right. Love it. Love it. And I was just say too, like, you've been around for so long, the music industry, even fans, they're, unpredictable throughout the years. But for whatever it is you're doing, it's kind of like you've managed to thread yourself through time almost and just like on this continuum, I feel like. And, generations later, 30 somewhat years, later for Gypsy Women, it's still a club staple. I was just in Victoria's Secret earlier this morning listening to a song and they were sampling Gypsy Woman. And I was like, what? I never even heard this person singing this sampling Gypsy Woman.
Mm.
So what do you think it is about your music that you've been able to stand the test of time?
A lot of people ask me that. I think I'm somebody's watching over me, first of all.
Listen.
But I think I got into this business at a time where it was good for artists and it was new music at the time. So I think a lot of people are just discovering it. It's something I haven't been able to answer this question honestly, but it's something that resonates in this song with people. If it's the keyboards or if it's just a lot of D, lot of da, but people, I think it uplifts people in some way and it makes them feel good somehow. It
Listen,
has good memories. Everybody I talk to who's ever heard it has a great memory when I talk to them. So I know at least it gives them good memories.
we were out Friday night. We have this restaurant here that turns into a little bit of a lounge club at like 9, 10 o'clock.
Hmm.
They played Gypsy Woman, and my husband got on the dance floor with me. My husband's a house dancer, so he's going off.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's so much fun. You're gonna meet him at the party. You're
I
gonna
want video. I want video.
So with your father, Junior Waters, being a jazz musician, your aunt Ethel Waters being, breaking barriers as the first Black vocalist in Hollywood, Was singing something that you believe you were always kind of destined for?
I did not think singing was what I was destined for at all. I was very shy. I stayed in the bedroom. I kind of had the headphones on all the time. I
Mhm.
loved music, though. I did love music. And I used to on tour with my father in the summer, and I would just always listen to music. It wasn't until, I don't know, I was working at a government job where I said, oh, maybe there's something else I should be doing.
Right.
So no, I had no idea.
Did you kind of, when did you first discover your talent, would you say?
Um, well, the story is, I'll tell you the whole story. I was working at the government and
What were you doing for the government?
I was I majored in computer science at Howard University and I was in the computer room. This is in the 80s. I had the first computer, this big, large computer, and I would issue warrants and I computed good time for the parole board when people would get out of jail. And they would send around a paper about how much you would make, like G1, G2 for each year.
Yep.
And even I stayed there 12 years, I wasn't going to make any money. So my mom told me to go to see a psychic. So that weekend I went with a friend to a psychic fair. And I lost my voice on the way to see her. And she told me that it was something I wasn't doing with my voice. I was like, yeah, right, whatever. And I got back to work and my friend said, you love music. I have a cousin who has a studio who's looking for background singers. I'll go if you go. So we went, I got the background singing job. I made all this money, like $600, which was like $1 million to me back then.
Yeah, that's a
And
lot.
just wouldn't be in the studio. The light bulb went off. I was like, this is it. This is what I knew I could write songs. I knew I could write. But once being in that studio, I just knew that was it.
What a great story. And your best friend, what happened?
And Steve Warren, he was my coworker. I haven't seen him ever since.
So your music, it's celebrated obviously for being uplifting, it's empowering. You got some great lyrics, like you're saying, you love to write. And I see that it's a lot about love and just kind of where do you find inspiration?
I usually find my inspiration from the music. What happens is people will send me tracks and I write to the tracks. So I'll listen to the music and usually, I'll get some words here and there. And I just get inspired that way. I just let it flow through me. I don't, sometimes I'll write some lyrics down. If I hear something in my head, I'll write it down, and go back and use those. But mostly I get inspired from the music.
Do the lyrics come first or the beat come first for you?
Well, I get the music, and then what comes first for me is the melody. I'm sitting in my studio right now. I have an 8 track, and I'll go through different melodies and hear something, and usually I'll come up with something or paste it together from each track. And usually humming or singing along, there'll be some words. There'll be something that gives me a hint of what the song is about,
Nice.
and then I go from there.
You go what you're feeling. I love it. Now, your music, again, it's empowering. And you being a woman in the music industry, I'm assuming, like, even from back in the 80s, that there were some challenges along the way. And I'm wondering, were there challenges for you along the way? And if so, what were they and kind of how did you overcome that?
Oh, well, being a female artist in the 90s, it was just so many challenges.
Yeah.
There's the age thing, then there was you couldn't have any kids. I think no one ever knew that I had 2 children because that just wasn't the thing. And I've known artists that got pregnant and got dropped from the labels just because they were pregnant. Um,
Unbelievable.
it was very hard to be heard. And I think after over time, somehow I figured out how to be heard because I tell people, I said, men, if you don't stand up to it, if you don't say what you need to say, they'll just let you pass by.
Mm.
Um, I think on default, they'll tell you no until you keep saying something until you actually get what you want. So a lot of it was learning how to stand up for myself and knowing what I wanted and just staying in people's faces, basically,
Yeah.
and having a good attorney
That
was a
helps.
big, big help. I'm telling you, because you've heard all the stories of people that don't get their royalties, they don't get their money,
Right.
and I didn't have any problems with that, so I'm very blessed and lucky that I had it. And actually, my attorney was my roommate at Howard University, and my college roommate.
Oh,
So
wow, that's
he's
perfect.
still,
How convenient.
he's,
That's great.
yes, he's still my attorney now. So it's great.
All right. So smart business advice is to have a good lawyer when you're in this industry as well.
Exactly, exactly.
You find that people are looking to take advantage of new artists and kind of just,
I think, I don't know if they're purposely trying to take advantage, but I think a lot of artists aren't educated on how to handle the business. I mean, it's very, usually you first get in, it's all fun and exciting, but then you have to handle the business at some point, and there's a lot of information that is not given, especially to publishing, especially about even putting your name in the title and how to place your name. You got Spotify now. If you put your name as featured, it goes down on your list. No one can find you. So it's a lot of little tricks and tips that I think people should be educated about, because if you don't know, they will take advantage of you because somebody knows a little bit more than you.
right. So education, education, education. Even though you're coming in,
Yeah.
you want to just kind of be that artist, express yourself, you need to know business.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
but
I know,
you have
right?
to.
It's never just the artistic road.
Yeah.
So I wanted to also ask, obviously success in this industry requires a little more than just talent, like we're saying, right? It takes a little business knowledge, but it also takes what I think is called, what I believe is resilience and kind of the right mindset.
Hmm.
Because again, those challenges that you're going to come against, whether that be, through the industry executives or even your own creative, blocks people have. So just, in that respect, what beliefs or habits have been kind of the key to your longevity and success?
Well, I think you said that having the right mindset is so important to know you're valuable, that you are talented, because you can't worry about what other people think or say, because people are going to hate on you, they're going to put you down, and you have to have the strongest mindset about why you're here, what you're doing, and what you have to offer, your God-given talents. You have to believe in it and know it and just keep focused on that, because you will be distracted, distracted, distracted. Um, so the mindset is positivity, knowing your value, knowing your worth. And it's a constant practice. It's a constant, especially, I mean, social media, you could put up a post and have one person, you'll focus on that one little negative thing and it could just ruin your whole day. So it's really perseverance of a positive mindset of knowing what you don't want, and just being happy about it. Just being happy about it. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking and saying. You have to be happy with yourself and happy with what you're doing with your life.
I couldn't agree more. It's kind of like, you have your own road, they have their road, right? Just kind of stick
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Your image, I think, though, has evolved a little bit. All right. So,
Well,
I mean, you're always kind of edgy. You're always edgy. To me, like I look back at what you used to wear, I love all that stuff. So I think it's, it's dope, it's pretty, it's edgy, it's all those good things. But
mm.
from what I'm seeing in the last year or so, it's a little almost like futuristic edgy. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of digging it. I love it. I love
I'm
it.
glad you said. I was like, oh, where's she going with this?
Yeah, but I love it. So
Um,
what has been like your evolution, like fashion wise?
well, I think of this point where I am, I wanted to do, I call it the avatar look, the avatar in the video games and
Yep.
um but thinking of kind of like when I'm describing the albums, kind of futuristic house.
Yeah.
Do something, more modern, a little more edgy. Even the video coming out for the song. You're the first person I'm telling this. We're doing an AI video where I'm kind of like the superhero in the movie, and I'm flying around. So it's really that's something I just always wanted to do. I used to love the avatars in the video games and stuff like that. So we're doing that.
So this video, is that going to be for this song, You and Me, or is it
Yep, it's for you and me. Hopefully
Oh,
tomorrow I'll have the final.
oh my God, you gotta share that with me too.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Really
That
cool.
sounds cool. You're also doing the podcast show, which I am thrilled about because me and my husband, there's nothing on the radio to listen to. So we're always just downloading our own Spotify stuff. But Now I
Yeah.
Am House on Sirius XM. It's channel 141 for everybody who's going to listen. Saturdays and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Giving house heads everywhere a station to turn to, which is great.
Yep. Yep.
How did this?
I started because I couldn't find any good house music anywhere. So I,
Perfect.
I said,
Well,
well,
we'll
let me
talk about
start
that. How
there.
did you start the venture? How did that come about?
I had one, I don't know, maybe 2009. It's called Clubheads. And I really enjoyed it because I was getting all the new music and I was hearing everything that was out there. So, fast forward to maybe I started again 5 years ago. It's my fifth year. I met with a distributor. I got a distributor, and I just wanted to do some good house music, high energy, and I wanted to focus on naming the people on the tracks because a lot of times you just get the DJ name,
Right.
and I wanted to get the vocalist, which is usually females.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
get their name out there, maybe some people who wrote some of the songs. Just give some information about the song, some little background. And it's been going wonderful. I love hearing the new music. I'm meeting new producers and it's meeting a lot of new people, and we're up to 10 million monthly listeners now. I just got
Oh
new
my
numbers.
God.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah, and that's not including Sirius M Utopia. Um, and then I just did a takeover on Pandora on Euphoria.
Okay.
So it just keeps expanding and growing, and I'm just loving every minute of it.
That's good. How does it feel being kind of behind the scenes, like in that regard? Now you're playing the music
Uh-huh.
for everyone else.
I'm liking behind the scenes. I think I think eventually I will be transitioning, full time behind the scenes. We'll see how it goes.
All right, all right. Something to look
Mhm.
forward to. I mean, also, I mean, you're even mentioning just before how you've collaborated, you're meeting new people, you mean new producers, etc. But throughout your career, you've collaborated with other amazing artists, obviously DJs, producers, Todd Terry, Dave Morales. I mean, Flash Mob. These are like just really cool big names, right? The list goes on and on. Is there
Yeah.
anyone that stands out the most, though, and why?
People, I'm like, who do I want to work with?
Yeah, yeah. Who else that you
Not-
haven't worked with that you want to?
Yeah, sometimes I think Kate Trinata, he's a brand new, well, he's been winning Grammys for the last 3 years. I mean, I love his stuff. Um, it's just sometimes I just want to collab with someone famous like a Janet Jackson, someone I would love
Yeah,
just kind
sure.
of in the dance, kind of cross-pollinate a little bit.
She
Uh,
is. She's been doing that. Janet just, I was at a
yeah.
concert and she's playing Mr. V. And I'm like,
Yeah, I know she loves house music, so I was like, that
yeah,
would be cool. Um, but I'm always just looking for, sometimes it's not about the name, but there's a lot of young people coming up that's doing a lot of good, new adventurous stuff. So I'm looking kind of more for that kind of stuff.
something new and fresh.
Yeah.
All right.
I've done the 90s very well.
Oh, yeah. And now everybody's doing your 90s still. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so just a piece of advice for, upcoming artists. There are a lot of them out there, obviously, trying to get that one hit single. What would
Mm.
be your advice to them?
With a hit single, I wouldn't go into it wanting a hit single. What I would go into it is wanting to do my best and give my all and do what I love, and the rest will come. Be a nice person. I hear a lot of artists talking bad about all these other artists. I was like, all that comes back to you.
Yeah.
Be Do what you love, be unique, be original. Um, don't be afraid to be different. Get good advice. If you can't afford an attorney, just a lot of information online these days. But you got to do it because you love it. Don't do it for the fame, because even if you get the hit, it'll come crashing down on you. You see too many people come in and leave all the time.
Mm.
So do it for the passion.
Excellent. Good advice. Good advice. What about yourself? I mean, you're on the road constantly. Is there something that you do personally, whether it's, meditation or prayer or whatever it is to kind of, you know, ground yourself?
Yeah, yeah, I have a program, I have a practice. I don't know if you ever heard the 5 a.m. club. I don't do it 5 a.m., but when I wake up, it's basically 20 minutes of meditation. Sometimes I take longer. Read something that is going to educate you, self-help books or whatever. 20 minutes of exercise, and 20 minutes. I do affirmations. I write affirmations when I have time. I love writing my affirmations down. So meditation, writing the affirmations, you got to do that 10 minutes of visualizing what you want, feeling happy about it. Um, and that's something that really helps me, especially like this morning, I woke up in a bad mood and I had to just stop all of a sudden, go right to it, get it done, and it changes your whole day. So I highly recommend some form of morning practice.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
wonderful, and that you do that. All of that. That's, people think it's hard to do, but it really is so important, right? So just your overall
it is.
well-being and your mental health is first and foremost. You woke up in a bad day, having a bad mood or whatever, and you changed it all around for yourself.
Yeah.
This, in
It
spite of the raccoon in the back.
In spite, but it does change your day. And I even heard someone say, just start this dance for 5 minutes. I said, I'm gonna start trying that too.
I
It
love
changes your
that.
whole day. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, drink water and dance before you do anything else. That
Before
sounds
you do
good.
anything else. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me. I can't wait to put this in the magazine, and congratulations on all your success. I can't wait to see the video for you and me.
Me too.
And
It's gonna be great.
when does
I'm gonna
this
tag
album
you.
drop? Like, when does this drop?
In the fall, I plan on releasing several more singles, and in the fall, I got 2 more songs to write. That's why I
Okay.
can't.
All right.
But as soon as I finish those two, we'll get a date.
All right. Love it. Let us know, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Be sure to check out more with Crystal Waters at Preferred Health